and welcome back to my channel. I am not in my kitchen, as you can tell, and I hope my dress doesn't fly away. I am here at Chapeldown, which is one of the wineries here in Kent, UK. Been a fan of this wine for the longest time. They really do delicious wine, and I was invited to check out the vineyard, so I jumped at the invitation and I am here. Obviously I had to bring you guys with me, so let's go. First we're going to do a little vineyard tour, then I'm going to do some wine tasting, and the last but not the least, I'm going to have some lunch. So let's go. Before that, you know the drill. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button. Let's go in.
So behind us we've got Bacchus, in front we've got Chardonnay. We have 8 rows of Chardonnay, 8 rows of Pinot Blanc, which is one of the first plantings of Pinot Blanc in the country. So this is our pressing shed. This is where everything gets pressed.
Oh, it smells nice, doesn't it?
It's wine.
Yes.
Wine spillage. So once everything's been picked, it's brought on those big tubs, and they hold about 350 kilos per tub. We bring the forklifts through, we then move the funnel into the middle, we open up the hatches, and basically once it's open, we fill it between 30, 40, 50 of those tubs, close it all up, and then the press will then be turned on and it rotates like a washing machine, side by side. Inside there is like a perforated wall which will slowly press the grapes, and there's basically a big bag, and that will inflate and deflate, gently pressing the grapes against one another and against the walls of the press. All the twigs, you're going to have all the pith, the skin, the leaf. So they're going to get inside, they're going to scoop it all out, and then all of that gubbins, we're going to call it, is then put into a bin. It's collected multiple times a day. Some of it is turned into a biofuel we use in the local area. Some of it's used as a fertilizer, which we then re-put onto the soil, and some of it's used as animal feed. So there's always a purpose for all the debris that's left behind. One of our original tanks, as you can see, they're a lot smaller. We've got 10,000 litre tank, 20,000 litre tank, and then the big ones around the corner are 50,000 litres. The 50,000 litres produce about 66 to 67,000 bottles. These are about 11,000, these are about 22,000. To give you an idea of the size. And they're going to do a process called cold settling. They're going to add a little product that's going to sink down all the little bits down into the base, so they can then pump out into a separate tank, fill it to about 80% full, and add their yeast and their sugar so they can start fermenting. There's a layer of stainless steel, a layer of water, another layer of stainless steel, and that water is kept at a nice stable temperature. Once it's finished fermenting, ideally we've got nice high acids and low sugars, so we can add less sugar. We ferment at cooler temperatures, meaning lower levels of alcohol. And for our sparkling wine production, that's very important because they have to ferment again. And if you've got too high alcohol at this point, we can't continue our process. So, here you can take a seat. This is what I called our riddling room earlier. So you're welcome to have a little seat. If you want to stay standing, you can also stay standing. So I'm just going to talk to you a little about the next process. And you can't just expect all of that dead yeast to fall by itself. You've got to give it a bit of encouragement. So you're going to tap and twist twice a day for 40 days. Until eventually your sediment has fallen down to the crown cap, clarifying your wine. Do you see? That little bit of sediment is at the bottom there, and it's clarified our sparkling wine. So it's just in there at the bottom. You would then take your cork. So corks, historically, if you look at that, that's fat. It's not cork shaped, is it? So if you give it a feel, it's very, very firm. Old-fashioned cork was quite soft. So it basically means that you could squeeze it tight with a hammer, smack it in. Modern day cork, if you feel it, it's very, very firm. So you have to use a machine. I'll show you how to do a little tasting to start with, how we assess the colour and all of that. And it's predominantly Pinot Noir, Rondo and Regent. Oops. We'd hold it to our chest to determine whether or not it's an aromatic wine. It's not. We'd hold it to our chin, bit of flavour. We stick our nose inside the glass, and you're going to get strawberries and cream is the main flavour. Lots of kind of bright berried notes, a bit of freeze-dried raspberry in there, just fun. It's got wonderful aromatics. And then what we're going to do is we're going to give it a good swell, either with your wrist or on the table. And we're then going to smell the wine, and you'll notice it softens the flavours but brings out the aromatics. And what that's doing is positively oxidising the wine, bringing out the flavours. What you're doing when you're holding it to your chest, you're determining if it's an aromatic wine. We can't smell it right now. Why it's a little bit coming there. It's not an aromatic wine. It's a nice, easy drinking Chardonnay. But with this particular wine, so Kit's Coty is named after the 3 Neolithic stones that sit on the top of the hill of Bluebell Hill. Obviously, the newer the barrel, the more flavour of the oak you're going to get into the wine. The older the barrel, the softer the flavour. So it used to be, in the sort of late 80s, early 90s, lots of ABCs, anything but Chardonnay. And that was because in that sort of time, they would pick the most tropical, most ripened fruits. And rather than fermenting at cooler temperatures, they'd ferment at higher temperatures, higher alcohol. So they then had to counteract that with more oak. And rather than putting in a barrel and allowing it to age over time, they would pour in an artificial essence or use a big bag of oak chips and so dunk it in like a tea bag. And so the idea is you want it to be nice and soft and subtle, which is what this is. Rosé sparkling, and I'm going to show you how to open a bottle first, which you probably all know how to do. You're going to take off your foil. You've got a nice little tab, and then what we're going to do is how many half twists?
6.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 every time, and then we're going to have a ham on the top and a ham on the bottom, and we're going to slowly twist the base. So you want it nice and gentle, and so you're going to have what we call a duchess's fart. Is what the sound is. Puff like so. Yeah.
Oh, what? Wow.
Yes. Yeah, real good. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's why it's Duchess's fart.
On the statistic, it's 24 people die every year from cork inhalation. So it's temple and eye size. I had a lady on my tour.
No.
Yeah, a lady on my tour a few months ago, back in September, and she lost her left eye when she was 7. She was in her late 70s. 500 people in this country go to hospital for a cork-related injury every single year.
What the?
I know, indeed.
That's a statistic.
So
That's the sort of thing I would.
Oh, just a little. Oh, just a little.
Oh,
it's all right. You get the full experience. So it's going to make a bit more of a noise because it's quite fiery. I can feel it. Yeah, there we go. That's our Blanc de Blanc.
We would be fighting.
2019. Sorry, a bit of dribbles. It's got that wonderful nutty richness to it. So on the nose, you're going to smell like cream and butter. 2019 vintage, but this is a traditional blend of Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier.
And did you say this is King's one of his favorites?
Yeah, so it was, well, not necessarily one of his favourites, but it's ones that he served at a couple of his banquets over the last few months. So I'm just going to try and get it without the pop. There we go.
Well, he's got to like it to serve it in his
Oh, I would have
banquets.
thought so.
Yeah.
Our Pinot Meunier, 4.5 years on lease, so it's got nutty and honeyed flavours. It's rich, it's decadent.
Okay, so going in for the lunch at the Swan, which is just by the vineyard. So this is the lovely, let me show you, the gardens. You can drink wine here. There's a shop here, and the vineyard is just there. So that is the rosemary focaccia which they've made in the kitchen, and the rapeseed oil is from the local farm. The food has arrived, and this is charred prawns, and this is potato with something on top, and that's the burrata. And of course we are having some Chapel Down Flint dry. The garden peas, some sweet mash, and cauliflower cheese. That is a cod with chicken sauce. That is a honeycomb cheesecake, and that is the Jamaican cake. And that is a wrap. It was a great day out. If you are in this part of Kent, I would highly recommend it. I came with my girlfriends and it was fantastic. The wine, the tasting, the walk around, lunch was great. So I had a brilliant time. I'm going to wrap this up, but please like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you from my very own kitchen next time. Bye for now.